All right. Hey y'all, we're here today to talk about the receiving positions of a snatch. So snatch, and I fortunately have Holly here to help demonstrate everything. Talking about our 4 receiving positions: muscle, power, split, and squat in no particular order. So snatch, we're talking floor to overhead. I think we, if we're watching this video, hopefully we know that. If not, let's go back to something more basic. But we're talking about kind of these 4 positions or these 4 receiving styles and why we use them, where they might show up, how they're appropriate, and kind of just demystify some things a little bit. So we're gonna start with the muscle snatch, right? So muscle snatch, we're gonna be set up with our hands in snatch width and shoulders over the bar. We're gonna push the ground away, and we're just gonna keep pushing the ground away until we receive that bar overhead. So we're thinking about keeping that bar really, really close is one of our key things we're thinking about, keeping that bar close and using a lot of leg drive to accelerate that bar upwards, right? So where would this, perfect. Where would this show up? A lot of times this is used as an accessory, a primer, or a corrective, right? So this is, it's not a legal lift because we are intentionally pressing out. So we cannot use it in competition. So it inherently falls into the category of auxiliary. So we are thinking about staying really close in the brush and extension, right? Keeping that bar here, because if it gets away, it gets really hard on the muscle snatch. It gets a lot heavier. Holly did a great job keeping it close.
Am I doing more?
No, I think it's plenty of repetitions. But it helps us with leg drive, our staying close, and a fast and aggressive turnover, right? So it helps us with things that we are maybe not as good at on the snatch, or feeling things that are harder to feel when we go full speed, we're pulling under, we throw more moving pieces. So it takes away some of the complexity. Feel clear on muscle snatch? Sweet. So we're gonna go to power snatch now. So power snatch is essentially a derivative of the squat snatch, in which we are going to catch above parallel, right? So we are going to set up, snatch grip, push the ground away, keep the bar close, get to extension, and catch, right? So we are not dropping down to a squat, but we are catching high, right? So what's the purpose of this? Perfect, nice. Why would you use this, right? We are producing more power. We are driving the bar with more velocity high and catching high. So we're getting the habit of, this is a great way, a lot of times we use this as we're introducing the snatch, because it doesn't require the mobility to get down to a squat. If we're looking at teaching someone a squat snatch, we'll also use it as an accessory for someone who snatches often. It's usually, we'll be loading kind of lighter, and it's forcing us to produce more speed. We're operating at higher velocities, lower absolute weight. So it's a nice alternative change up for us on that regard. And it's also teaching to actively meet the bar and not, you'll see this a lot of times where people will drop down, race to the bottom, and then just get hit with the bar. So it's teaching us to stay active, keep opening, and punch. So good accessory there. Power snatch. Which also, of note, this could be a competition lift, right? It could be a legal lift because our arms catch the bar locked out with the feet on the ground. Like, we are good, we could take this to a competition. Usually you don't see people do it because the squat snatch and the split snatch both just trump it in terms of how much weight you can lift. Sucks that the term trump got co-opted. Anyway, we're gonna go into the next one. Since we just did the derivation of it, let's go into the squat snatch next. So same thing, we're gonna get tight, push the ground away to extension and catch, sitting down our squat and standing up. Let's see one more there. We're tight, push the ground away, pull under into the squat and catch. Right, cool. So squat snatch is...
I don't normally do that.
So thank you for diving into that. So usually as we get to these last 2, someone will typically specialize in one or the other. And that will be the lift that they're taking to competition. Squat snatch is often just referred to as a snatch, but it is just another way we can receive the barbell at a low height and in a legal manner, right? We're catching the bar with locked out arms.
Weird fun fact, that mostly came from CrossFit.
Yeah, the term squat snatch.
Squat snatch came from CrossFit.
And especially squat clean, I feel like even more so. If an athlete that only squat snatches or only split snatches, you just say snatch and they know what kind of snatch they fucking do. Not a lot of ambiguity there, but this is kind of like the end of one path. It's usually going to be the lift that allows us to lift the most weight. And we're going to major in this or the other variation of receiving we're going to talk about, which is the split snatch, right? So split snatch, It's another way we can catch the bar while we are still extending and then pulling under. We're just into a split position instead of a squat position. So we're throwing one foot out in front of the other. This is the variation that Holly does, full time, and perfect, cool. So
It looks a little bit better.
So, challenges of, differences between the squat and the split, right? Squat usually is a little more stable. And if someone, it doesn't require that speed of splitting quickly. You need to have a lot of speed to get under, to get down into the split. And usually, athletes will have a preference for one or the other. Do I ever use a split snatch with competition weightlifters that don't split?
Yes.
Yes, not that often, but sometimes. Do I use it with sport athletes? A lot, right? Like, so if we have a field sport athlete, they might not squat snatch very often, right? They might power and split because it's more relevant for their power production in sport. But like in terms of the world of weightlifting, yeah, they might do both. How often do you squat snatch?
Like never.
Yeah, like usually on these ones you find.
I'm just stronger this way.
Usually you find one and kind of divert, and we're going to specialize in one or the other.